are live. Here we go. This is
exciting. It's about the fucking time we've had. Yeah, we've been planning this for a little while. I guess for everybody,
a little while is in
a week and a half.
A week and a half.
But I mean, we've kind of been setting this up. I came here once before.
It's a week and a half, but a year in the making.
Yeah.
You could say.
For those, well, I guess everybody's new around here, but we both of us have kind of done.
We're new around here, so.
Both of us have kind of done the YouTube thing in the past.
Dabbled a little bit.
We've done some other podcasts. Before though, I mean, we just kind of did like over hangouts and stuff like that. We just kind of did screen captures of us talking over Skype. That was more of our podcasts than
actually.
We
didn't really have a good setup for it before. Not like it was. I don't know. I guess I was here. Right now we have a little room, but before it was more of I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody just by themselves and a little bit of talking.
Now it's perfect because we're together. We can have the sound quality together.
Got a room,
we have a real room. And hopefully it looks alright. I mean, we kind of filled the shelves with stuff.
What did we name the shelf? What was it?
The shelf of intelligence. You got, on one side, you got a whole roll of encyclopedias, and then the other side is just nothing but liquor.
We're actually thinking of doing a segment of just. We're going to do some knowledge, some book learning, classic.
Hit you with some knowledge.
So.
You got the turtle in the background.
Yeah, there's a live turtle over there. If you be nice to him, he might make an appearance.
Yeah, so I guess we should probably introduce ourselves first. I'm the Zac portion of the Mac and Zac. I've done YouTube for a little while. I have another channel with I actually have 70 videos on one channel. I just put out a lot of it was really shitty quality. A lot of it was update videos promising things that never ended up happening. So let's try to eliminate those fucking mistakes.
Yeah.
But I really like doing YouTube. It's just a way to. I like connecting with people, and it's an outlet. It's a way to
similar people, ideologies.
Yeah, and people who are on it,
Conversation.
There's kind of, I guess it's kind of like a niche. People who are involved in YouTube and watching YouTube videos and gaming and stuff. We're both big into gaming, so.
Twitch, that stuff. Hopefully we can get that going pretty soon.
So I'm the Zac portion.
I'm the Mac portion.
And that's the Mac portion.
Zac and Mac.
How many? We did one podcast before this?
Yeah.
Was that what we did?
8 episodes?
Yeah,
roughly.
We had a third person. So it was way trickier before because we actually had to get people, get all three of us.
We had to coordinate.
To sit down. We were all doing it from basically our rooms, essentially.
I don't even think, did Ryan have a laptop even at the time?
No, at the time he was just talking through his Beats.
On his phone.
His little
over
phone,
Skype or something, or Google Hangouts.
Yeah, so, the quality's better. We're filming on a GoPro. We've got laptops, we've got real mics, we've got, tablets in front of us, so we're pretty well set up.
Hopefully some upgrades too, always trying to improve.
Exactly.
As you do.
So I wrote down a couple things here to start off. One was the introduction, who we are, and I think for the most part we're just kind of doing this for fun. It's not supposed to be anything. It's not supposed to be anything financially.
No, we're not
It's just more or less just two people getting together, talking about.
Just have a little bit of free time and some common interests. So why not throw it together and we see what happens?
How much money do we spend on these mics and?
Too much.
All this just to go to waste.
Just
this mic alone is $300.
Personal, just because I like it. It doesn't matter. I could use a $5 microphone from Best Buy and plug that in and use that to talk, but I would much rather prefer having a little bit of quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just how beautiful is this boom stand? It's got range of movement and all that. It's just.
And I think it's probably been for the last year. Not the last year. That's a little too far, but probably the last 6 months where this has just been sitting doing. Because the last time me and you went paintballing was the last time I put out a video.
And that was
which was
June.
Before that, dude,
was it
March or April? I think.
Yeah.
Maybe May, but it's been a long time. So this stuff's just kind of been sitting in my room, doing nothing. So it's nice to find.
Your computer's been down as well, right? I've still been able to use mine a lot.
That's true. My computer's been down, but. So here we are. Hopefully you guys will stick around and watch an episode. Before we go any further, let's plug the Twitter and the Instagram. Both Twitter and the Instagram have the same username, I guess. It's just like the YouTube name. It's ZacMac, no capitals or anything. But at the end, just toss in an underscore. We'll put the link in the description. But if you're interested in following the
description for all the other ones, there'll be links for all of them in the bios, so you can find each social media outlet on one.
We tweet out. I think we'll probably just sync up the YouTube upload with Twitter, so people can follow us on Twitter.
Of course. Try and get a picture. I don't know. Take just a selfie. Upload selfie. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so we got Twitter, Instagram, and obviously YouTube. So we're on our way. I think we have a good.
We're on our way. We've been rambling for.
And we have some.
Just thought of another nickname for us. Beauty in the Beard.
Beauty in the Beard. I like it.
I don't know. It just came to me.
Beauty in the Beard. I like it.
All right. Well, what do you guys think, viewers? If there's anybody out there.
And on Twitter, toss us some questions. We have one Twitter question that we're gonna answer today. But any questions you guys throw out, just maybe mention that. Hey.
Yeah, we're live updating right now. So if you hit at us while we're, if you see one of our posts and get at us, we can hopefully get you in our next video that uploads.
Exactly. So my first topic that I wrote down for the week was because I know me and you have switched from Samsung to iPhone.
Very true.
So I thought we could. I personally am enjoying my Samsung more so than the iPhone, and I thought we could go over our changes and what we've.
Well,
because I mean, I would never go back to an iPhone after switching to Samsung.
No, I can't. Like, I mean, I have my iPad here, and it's basically just a big iPhone. It doesn't have data, so it's just limited to Wi-Fi, obviously. But like, if I just compare the two, I mean, I don't know. It's the amount of customization and stuff I can do on my phone, and just. Right. But at the same time, I wish I didn't get a Samsung phone. I wish I just got an Android phone, maybe an LG.
Oh really?
Just the amount of bloatware and stuff. It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, I think
I
have 12. Well, I have like 12 gigabytes. My phone comes with without the SD card, and there's already I think 4 of just stuff that you can't uninstall from Samsung.
Is that true?
Yeah,
really?
I have 8 gigabytes available out of my 12 when it comes from the factory.
That's not.
Like, I've had this phone over a year now, a year and a half, I believe. An Galaxy S5.
That's not
yeah, and it's nice. I've noticed it slows down a lot once I put some apps and stuff on it. Like, I did a factory reset on this about a week and a half ago. It was running smooth as butter after I did that, but before it was like, if you were texting me and you send a second text message while I'm replying, it would totally freeze. My phone would almost crash, and I wanted to break in half. And it was fine after I restored it. Now that I've put some more apps, it's a bit slower, but I have an SD card in there now for all my pictures and stuff. Hopefully that'll help.
And another thing that I haven't actually done this yet, but the guy when I bought my phone, the guy said it comes with 12 gigs of memory or whatever.
Yeah.
But he said, like, once you run out, instead of that being it, that's your only storage, you can put in a memory card, so you can go from 12.
Yeah. That's what I have with my micro SD. I have 32 extra gigabytes on
and
this
it's
card.
Cheap. How much did it cost?
I don't know. I bought it a long time ago. Probably around $30.
Yeah, and that's so cheap.
They're not. Memory now is so available. It's awesome. Like, you can, and it's tiny too. Like, it's not an SD card. It's a micro SD card, right? Like, it's what goes in lots of GoPros and stuff like that. Like, an SD card is what goes in your camera.
And you can put it in an SD card. Like, I have.
Like an adapter.
Yeah, and you can plug it into.
And I know some people. One of my good friends actually, she has a GoPro. She doesn't even have a laptop, but she has an Android tablet. I believe it's a Samsung tablet. But she just takes her SD card right from her GoPro, plugs it into her tablet.
Really?
Yeah, and then she can see all of her photos and stuff in there. Now you can check out. Do you have an SD card slot? Or do you have a removable battery on there?
No, I don't.
No. No. What's on the side there?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, just pop that out. You can just pop your micro SD in there and see all of your photos and stuff from your GoPro right away.
Does it work for videos too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. Learning with Mac and Zach.
Fuck. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so like she just goes through there, picks out the one she likes, and you can just upload it right away to your Instagram or your Twitter, whatever, your Facebook, whatever you like.
So. You can't upload from the computer, can you? You can't upload to Instagram from the computer.
I don't
from a Windows computer.
Not that I know.
Because it's only an app. Like the website.
The website will just show your timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I go to it right now, the last time I did it was literally just my timeline.
Because you can't. I find that so weird about Instagram that you can't take pictures from your computer and upload them. I don't like that. Because I tried.
It is weird. I mean, I guess it makes sense with the whole, like, you know, Twitter and Facebook started off as websites that when this whole app craze kind of started, it was
They
like, all right,
switched
now
to
we can make a
Yeah.
linear platform and, you know, more streamlined.
I don't
but
even think Instagram.
Instagram just popped up as one of those apps during this craze that said, hey, instead of 140 characters, how about a picture of yourself or whatever you're doing, wherever you are, you know?
I don't think when Instagram first started, you could get it on anything but iPhones. I think it was just an iPhone thing on the initial release. At least maybe you couldn't get it on Blackberries, because I remember people, I think with Blackberries, they had trouble because they couldn't use Instagram. I could be wrong. I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure it started off as an Apple. Again, I don't know, but I think
I'm looking at my personal Instagram right now. I do not see a way to upload. I can see all of my pictures,
right?
Which is weird because it's like full-size pictures, but they're, you know, they're blown up on my desktop. They don't look right when it's made for Instagram on a little 2x2 screen. It's weird.
The first time I tried was when I was trying to put a bunch of, I can't remember for what Instagram account it was, but I just tried to put a bunch of pictures that I took in Boston of like in Fenway and in Foxborough and stuff. I mean, they were nice, but they were just all on my computer and I couldn't figure out a way to upload them.
Yeah, well, if I find if I take pictures with my camera, I'll have to. Well, I generally do some editing, Lightroom and stuff like that, or possibly Photoshop, and then I'll sync it with my phone. You can actually do that on the Lightroom app.
Oh, right.
Just sync it with the app on your phone, and it's just all right there, and then I take it from my phone and upload it that way. But actually, speaking of Instagram, that's one of the most recent updates I actually really like is the how you can enlarge the photo. Like, it doesn't need to be cropped for a perfect square anymore.
Yes, I know.
You know, you
How
can hit the
annoying
arrow
is
in the
that?
bottom left there, and it's like it'll pop up if you have a panoramic shot or a vertical shot. I don't think it shows all of it for vertical shots. Like, I know even if you take a Snapchat, that full
But at least you don't have the fucking
it won't be a square. Yeah, it won't be bars or anything like that. It'll take up the whole screen. It'll show a bit more, and it's a lot better.
Because before you had to take.
I don't understand why they tried to make it limited to a square. Most, you know, like if I take a picture like this or a video like that, people are going to call you retarded because I'm not holding my phone like that. Like, it's, you know, why can't I upload it the size of my screen?
I don't like that. How when you record it like portrait, it doesn't let, or landscape, it doesn't let you upload it fully.
Although YouTube, I believe, if you record upright, and you can upload it upright now, and you can
oh, really?
You can watch a video full screen. If it's been recorded like this, you can watch it full screen like that, upright. You don't need
before there was.
Yeah, at least on mobile you can. I don't think that's even an issue on a desktop.
No.
You can just enlarge it. You're gonna have the black bars either way. So.
But anyways, I much prefer Samsung. Going like there's so much.
Well, even the fact I can take my battery out. Like,
exactly.
Like, if my iPhone, I had an iPhone 4S, like I said, I upgraded maybe a year and a half ago. So this was right about when I had the decision, Galaxy S5 or an iPhone 5 or 5C, and I went with the Samsung. And if my iPhone, it would keep freezing and stuff like that. When it died, the day I actually upgraded was because I was kind of planning, I was doing a bit of research, and then I just had to make a decision because my phone actually just died on me. Like, occasionally it would be at 15%, and then it would die, and then I'd boot it back up, and it would be at 20%. But one day it died at, like, it was around 18, and it didn't turn back on. No matter what I did, plug it into a computer, anything, it was dead.
Well, that's the nice thing about, I mean,
so
that's the shitty thing about
this freezes, I just pop off the back, take out the battery, and it's back to where it was. Factory restore was the easiest thing I've ever done with this thing.
Yeah, that's
literally, I just turned it off, hold down home, power, and your volume up key, and it just brings you into a little settings menu. You hit factory restore, it takes maybe 30 seconds, not even, less than that, I would say 15 seconds. You can try it out if you're really that adventurous and back up your shit. But, I mean, it was a quick process. With an Apple, like, even my iPad was dead before the show. To get it to even reboot to the point where it was at 1%, took at least 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes for sure.
I do it with my old iPhone all the time. If it's dead, I have to plug it in. I literally wait 20 minutes
Yeah.
while it's plugged into
To
the
get
wall.
it to boot up to
Just to get it to
it's
see it.
ridiculous.
That's I feel that iPhones and Apple products in general are made so that you'll come back for more, because when you're
Most people do.
exactly, and it's the reason they do is because it's so user friendly, it's so easy to navigate, and you can't replace batteries.
Yeah.
If your warranty's up and your battery's no good, you're screwed. You're gonna have to get
You're
a
gonna
new
have to
phone.
shell out a new phone.
You can't just go
Which is
buy it.
lost.
Can you buy it? You can buy a new battery for Samsung, obviously, right?
Oh, you can buy backup batteries and keep it charged. So if this
Yeah.
dies, I just plug it in.
I feel like the customer happiness with
Yeah.
with
Well,
anything other than fucking iPhone is so much easier, because even the how long do the actual chargers last? They break
they break.
so often.
The amount of I guarantee you, any person in there that has more than one iPhone or iPod charger cable has had it break at the end there where the cable meets. It just frays all the time. It's
and
ridiculous.
they charge you $40 for a new one.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. I much prefer.
On that though, it's like, but at the same time, we're technology people, right? Like we know how to operate all this equipment in here. We're not like just sitting here and I only need to go to my email and my phone and I have 10 contacts. That includes my mom, my grandma, and my sister.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not the case. You know, I'm not 80 years old. I'm 20, well,
Yeah.
21. And I know I like computers, I like microphones, I like phones, I like customizing and making it my own. I don't need just basic functions. I go beyond that.
Well, and even with our making of this YouTube account, we have like a Google Drive.
Yeah.
Is just a drive where you can access from any device. All you have to do is enter the email and whatnot.
Yeah.
So me and you share a Google Drive, and
Yeah.
the drive itself is just topics for the show. So I can upload, or I can just edit it, put my ideas down, and within seconds you can see it. I don't know if our iPhone has anything like that.
No, it's awesome. Like after this is done, part of our process is literally take both of our audio recordings, upload it to our drive. That way, either one of us has access to our video footage, our audio footage, whatever we need, so that both of us can edit it, and it's both in a location that we can access. And you can use other services like Dropbox and stuff like that. But you know what? I didn't have to pay a cent for this, and it is already available. I can do it from my phone and write down ideas and upload it, and he can see it on his phone, his computer.
Minutes later, seconds later.
Yeah, as
so
soon as
simple.
it's done, and I can download it. It's great. Like even for going back to restoring my phone and stuff like that. When I did that, I literally just backed up all my contacts onto my Google Drive. When I restored it, I just signed back into Google, downloaded my contacts, and they all uploaded back in my contacts list. Like it's awesome. That's so easy. Dropbox, I find it's pretty tedious to upload things from my phone and select what you want, and just it's probably not that bad. I'm not trying to make it sound horrible, but it's not as easy to use as Google.
Yeah.
Everything is just right there. Even Google Documents and Google Sheets. Like I have spreadsheets of my finances and stuff like that. You can just play around, mess around with the numbers, see what you can't afford to spend, and just have it all right there, real time.
It's a little. I think when people switch from iPhones and they go to any sort of Android, it's a little intimidating because
It is.
because
That's how I felt.
it's kind of weird to get used to, because it's just iPhones are just really user friendly. They're really simple. There's not much to it. It's all kind of there. It's black and white.
Yeah.
But when you switch phones, especially to something like an Android, it's
There's
something to get
lots
used
there.
to. There's a lot, but once you figure it out,
And you have options. Like there's the standard email app, but then there's the Google email app, and you can decide, do I want that one or that one, or do I want to download a different one? But it's like both of them are there right away. With an Apple, it's just email.
once you figure it out, it's really simple. It's a lot. To be honest, I find the Samsung is way easier to have. It's way more convenient. It's way easier to have. Like Apple products, they're good. They're convenient when you have the iTunes and you have all that stuff kind of synced up together.
Yeah.
But even downloading music is such a pain in the ass because you have to torrent it. I don't know what you download music. I just have an MP3 music downloader on my phone. So whatever I want to download, I just punch in the name, and within seconds I have it.
Well, and see, that's the thing. My music experience is very different now than it was back when I was using iPhones. I would download all my music back in the days of LimeWire and stuff like that, and I would have tons of physical songs and copies of everything I wanted. If I got a new computer, that was my contact list for my computer, was make sure you save your music files so you don't have to download them all again. But I can't remember the last time I actually downloaded music, and that's torrenting or whether it's purchasing it off iTunes. I can't remember the last time I used iTunes. You know, yes, I have an iPad, but there's nothing on it. It is literally just a couple of apps, and I got it so I could use FaceTime and iMessage. You know, like that's why I got it, which ironically I don't even need anymore. But I just use Spotify. It is awesome. You know, it's especially with premium and like using it offline. I've basically downloaded everything onto my phone. I don't need to download it externally. You know, it's awesome, especially with Bluetooth stuff like that. I don't need CDs. Those are like a thing of the past now too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's answer this Twitter question because we posted. I posted a question. I posted a tweet. Said, hey.
Let's
answer some questions.
A tweet.
And we got one. We got one question. So the question
That's realistic
is from
for the first.
For a first
you know,
episode.
like what we made this count 2 days ago, for the purpose of this show.
And like I think the best way to start a channel, to start anything, is to become friends with as many people as possible. Just interact with anybody who wants to interact with you. Like I've sent messages. What I did was, for the people, I think there's 100 people that I follow, but what I did was I followed people through another YouTuber who has a podcast. So I followed 100 people from that guy's follow list, and if you're interested in his podcast, which is likely because it's pretty much the only thing that he does, then you're more than likely to check out another podcast. So this tweet comes from DECV Pop Punk. I'm not sure what the first thing's about, but he says, what got you into YouTube /podcasts, and what are some of your favorite podcasts and YouTube channels? Would you like to go first, or do you want me to answer this first?
Hey, you answered, and you spoke the question. You answered the question.
Okay, so getting into YouTube, when I was probably grade, what year did Modern Warfare 3 come out? My grade 11 year or my grade 12 year? It came out in one of those 2 years, and that's really when I started watching YouTube. It was just, I think it was just like watching people play Modern Warfare 3 and kind of just getting a feel for what the maps look like. Because the first time I really like made a YouTube account was when I was trying to, when I started playing Modern Warfare 3 and when I wanted to get better at Modern Warfare 3, so I watched people play. And eventually I started watching more and more YouTubers. And through that, it's like, man, this would be awesome to make. Because people were at that time, Call of Duty was huge on YouTube.
Just YouTube in general was just blowing up, you know, like
the gaming side. The gaming side of it. So that's how I got into it. I started watching a lot of people playing Modern Warfare 3 and watching commentaries over that. And once I got a job, I ended up buying a few different mics before this one. I bought a, whatever the hell those things are called.
Snowball? Blue Yeti?
I blew a Snowball and a Blue Yeti, and then I bought the recording.
Weird that I knew both of those.
What's the recording? What do we call them?
I have no idea what you're getting
Like,
here, bro.
what do you call them when you're...
Like computer?
No, the fucking recording device. Like what?
Capture card?
Capture card. Jeez Louise. So I bought a capture card, and eventually I started making videos, and it was fun. So that's how I got into YouTube. My favorite podcast and YouTube channel is definitely, my favorite podcast is PKA. I've been watching it. There's probably, I think they're in the 250s right now, and they do a weekly podcast. I've been watching it since it was like episode 70. So I've been watching it for like 3 solid years. So, and it's just been a weekly thing. And Woody's Gamertag is the person who puts it up, and that's, for me, that's probably my favorite. PKA and Woody's Gamertag. And do you watch FPS Russia?
I've seen a few videos, yeah.
He's on that podcast.
Is he? Nice.
Can we
get him in here?
That's
if
one
you're
of the,
listening, can you come to my basement?
That's one of the best channels out there.
Is that a weird request?
I mean, if he's watching.
If you want to offers out there, I don't care how weird it is. If he's willing to, I'll open up my basement to you.
I'm sure he'll bring some guns. It's hilarious because he'll be like, they'll be on the podcast, and they'll just, because this guy's got like, they're all three, the people who are the 3 hosts are kind of like friends through YouTube, and they like meet up at different events and stuff like that.
Well, it's the same with any big, so like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not, maybe not Twitter, because those are just fucking celebrities and stuff, but like Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that, they'll have like meets for Instagrammers and YouTubers, and you know, I think there's YouTube on boards, I think.
YouTube's getting big now.
YouTube's
YouTube's a
big.
thing. Like YouTube's a legitimate. Anyway, so on the podcast they'll be like, Kyle, because his name's Kyle. He's like, Kyle, how many at this very second? How many guns are within reach. He'll pull out a pistol. He's got a fucking M4 that comes over his shoulder. He'll have like a flamethrower on the bench behind him. Like, what the hell? The life you must live to own. There was one episode where they had the podcast, and he was outside. He was sitting outside specifically for what he was going to do, and he had his flamethrower just at the fucking ready, and he goes out and just burns. He just sprays the flamethrower in his backyard.
Love it.
He comes back, and his face is like red because it's like burnt. He has like a tan from being so close to the flame all the time. It was hilarious.
That's crazy.
But he's just got guns. He's got
suntan, brother.
All kinds of shit, just at the ready.
Yeah. Well, for me, I mean, Favela. What Call of Duty was Favela? Was that one for two? I remember the first YouTube video I made, I think, was. I remember how I recorded it, which is probably the hilarity of all this. I was sitting in my room. I had a tube TV, sitting in like a lazy boy, and I had like one of those TV table dinner, like TV tables, like dinner.
TV trays.
Yeah, I don't know, they're little pop-up wood things, right?
Yeah,
and we didn't have a set of those. And I set that up in front of my lazy boy, and it was right at the same height as like my entertainment stand, so like I could still see the TV above it. And I think my family had gotten like a flip video camera, I think it was called. And it was just like a little video camera that the USB flipped out the top of. It was really easy to use. No idea what it recorded in, like besides potato quality.
Yeah.
And
that was the care package one, right?
Yeah, I set it up and like just balanced it and pointed it at my TV, and I just gamed. And I would, the only reason I wanted to do this was because we were actually pretty good at Call of Duty at the time. That was the heyday for us, and but there was care package knifing where if you got care package, the little smoke bomb that you would have to throw it on the ground to deploy it, if you held that in your hand, you would sprint so fast, it was insane. And if you put on, what was that perk for, I don't know, there wasn't a perk, I was going to think there was a lunging perk, but that was just commando. Yeah.
That was it.
If you put on that, where you knife farther, and couple that with the speed, I remember running around Favela. I think I might still have that YouTube video up. We could probably dig that up for you and put that in the description there.
Well, for sure, because it's on your Mocha Moses Twitter.
Yeah,
or YouTube account. We'll have that video in the description.
Oh god, they're gonna look at those other videos.
What videos do you have on there?
I don't even know.
You just got a bunch of like.
We'll explore together, people.
Do you have any of them?
Dig up my old life.
Do you must have like car videos on it or something, do you? Do you have any GoPro videos on it?
I've got a couple. I've got like a couple UFC videos from my capture card.
From us?
Yeah.
The knockout reel. Oh, people, go check out.
We got to make more of those. I quite enjoyed that.
Dude,
now
that was
we're
awesome.
Like better at
that
video
song when
editing.
it led up to that bit. People, the link we send, go surf his channel for the knockout reel.
We'll link that one too. I think it's like 58 seconds or something. Don't quote me. I know you're gonna quote me, but don't quote me. It's around that 58-second mark where it's like the drop hits and there's just a huge fist coming in and he knocks me out. I can't remember. It was great. But that was a fun edit. I remember that took a while to nail that. And after I did, I was satisfied with the video, and so the rest of it's probably shit. But now I know how to do that stuff a lot more. That was that one was a while ago. But yeah, so that care package knifing is how I kind of started with that. And I think that was the start of uploading things to the internet for me. I think your second video was that video we took in air. That I wasn't even involved. That was the one I was trying not to mention. T-Rex Godzilla video. T-Rex Godzilla.
We're on a bit. Was I?
Oh, we're getting into this, are we?
We're on a baseball road trip and.
In Arizona, we're from like just outside of Vancouver, Canada right now.
Yeah. So
we're in Arizona, and we're like what, 15, 16 at the time. Oh.
And it was in a hotel room in Arizona, and we've got like 3 teammates in the video, and it was just the most like random, absurd video that you could have. Yeah. It was just 2 guys like wrestling with no arms.
It was myself and one of our other mutual friends, and. We decided that we were going to be dinosaurs, I think, and
it was a T-Rex
versus Godzilla, I believe. I don't know who was who.
So fucking random.
And I think I might have been Godzilla, and anyways, there was some wrestling.
It was just pure fun.
It was a good time in the moment,
So
but
weird.
probably one of those things that like shouldn't have been uploaded to the internet. I can recall some other things about that trip that shouldn't have been uploaded to the internet that were.
Yeah.
But we won't get into that right now.
Let's not talk about that.
What happens in Zona. And
those were good times,
those
man.
were.
Those were great times.
Yeah.
Those were the first real, like, I mean, we've been on baseball road trips.
That was like
Did you go to
getting
Quebec?
away from it all for sports,
Did
you
you go to
know?
Quebec?
Yeah.
That national?
Yeah.
So you went to Quebec. So that was kind of like your second road trip with a team.
Yeah.
But this is more like,
Grown up,
yeah.
you know.
We went to spring training in Arizona. We watched games. We played games. It was a real, like, it was more of a team
An
bonding.
eye opener as well, but you know what that life is about, you know, as a serious profession, you know. But at the same time, talking about Call of Duty, like our lives basically revolved around baseball, Call of Duty, and school in that order. Like,
No, we'd come
for-
home from high school, and if you weren't online in time, you were shit out of luck. Because
Yeah,
there was literally too many people to play.
yeah, you know that party of 6. Yeah, well, if you were Mr. 7 because you had to take a shit, too bad, buddy. Go
Yeah.
play by yourself.
Dude, it was.
I think we ran 2 parties at one point of like 4 and 4 and stuff like that, playing Surge.
More than likely.
Like,
There was when Modern Warfare 3 came out. That was the
Call of
game I
Duty
played the
is
most
my
of.
life.
That was the game. Modern Warfare 3 was the game I played the most of. And the first, it must have taken like 2 weeks to develop this, but I literally had nerve damage in my left middle finger from how much Call of Duty I played. It was, I missed countless baseball practices within the first month because I was playing this game. And I wasn't working at the time.
No,
so
but this was high school. It was literally baseball and Call of Duty.
baseball in school. That's
If,
all
we,
it
if
was.
we're not at school, we're on the diamond, and if we're not on the diamond, we're at home playing Call of Duty.
It was literally a group, and we had a solid group of like 10 people.
Oh, at least.
Constantly on.
I mean, if we want to include Gilroy, I guess maybe 11.
it was a great group, and we played I had like 25 fucking days played on
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Like that's 25 real days of my
insane
life
amounts of time.
that I played Call of Duty for. That's a fucking month.
Yeah. That's just sitting there. But like, you know, and yeah, I think about that. I played Call of Duty 4 when that started to come out. But then, you know, Black Ops 2 is where it dropped off for me, and I stopped liking Call of Duty. I just actually returned Advanced Warfare today because it's a piece of
It's
garbage.
It's
And the new Call of Duty drops like tonight at midnight, actually, which I do not plan on investing my money into whatsoever.
I don't know like what the prices are like around the world, but I think probably in Canada and the States it's both $80 before tax, and after tax, it's almost.
And that's before the season pass for all other DLCs and crap that are gonna.
Like if you bought the hard edition, you were always looking at over. I think you were pretty much always looking at
150
over.
always.
Yeah, but now it's just if you buy that if you go to GameStop or
20
EB Games in Canada, but it's if you buy that $4 protection for a year, or whatever, it's like $92 for
Yeah.
the game, which is like we were talking about earlier. It's a quarter of a console.
Which is actually now is almost worth it because if you break your disc, you're gonna have to. I'm not gonna go buy it again unless I can go replace it for free.
When I bought Grand Theft Auto 5, I went to EB Games, which is the Canadian version of GameStop, right?
Yes.
They don't have EB Games in the States.
No, it's EV game. Yeah, they're the same.
Yeah, so when I bought Grand Theft Auto, I bought that $4 scratch protection. I go home and I put it in my tray. This is for the 360. I put it in my tray and it slips out of the tray and this tray closes and the disc is like half in between the tray. So it scratched it beyond like playable.
Yeah.
And I had to return it that same day. So if
Nice.
I didn't buy that $4 scratch protection, I literally would have had to buy a brand new game. And I was so pumped for it. So I probably
Yeah.
would have spent over $7 on
Yeah.
that.
Well, I mean, even I know I'm like guilty of buying the same game cross-platform because like lots of my friends, their introduction to gaming was on a console, whereas for me, it was too. I started playing PlayStation. PlayStation 2 was where that was my first gaming. That was my introduction to gaming. It's, I really liked it and got serious about it.
On console?
Well, just in general. Like, I mean, I probably played like GameCube and N64 before, but like to get my own console was a PlayStation 2 where it's like, all right, I can play whatever I want now, and it was the best. I loved it, but then I started to get into the PC world of things. I admitted I started playing World of Warcraft, and I don't really anymore. I mean, the last time I subbed was maybe 5 months ago, but like it's still. I've gotten to the point where I played it enough that it's too dumbed down and not what it used to be, and I know my character's macros and everything so much now, but it's like that took up a big chunk of my life, and then I started playing Fallout on my computer and stuff like that, Skyrim on my computer, and it's not that my friends weren't playing Fallout and Skyrim, it's that they were playing on their Xboxes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, alright, well now I can't be in a party and join those conversations, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go play it again on my Xbox and spend money and do all that stuff.
PC gaming is great because of the graphics you can get, but in order to get into PC gaming, you gotta buy a $1,500 computer. You gotta upgrade once a year, because I mean, we bought our computers at the same time 2 years ago.
Yeah, but when I moved in here.
Yeah, and the computers now don't have a hope in hell of playing video games. When
Oh, mine would be fine. I've upgraded mine lots though.
But because you upgraded.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like within a year and a half, 2 years, your computer's pretty much.
Well, it's the same for
It's
anything.
due for an upgrade.
A brand new graphics card comes out and it's top of the line. You go spend $800 on it. Next week, the competitor's releasing their own version of it, and
PC
then
gaming's great, but it's such an expensive way
it
to
doesn't.
game.
It doesn't have to be though. You can build on a budget, and
But in terms of upgrading, you always have to be up. In turn, like if you want to play the games with the highest graphics, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, you always have to be upgraded. Even mine, when I tried to play Fallout 4 or Far Cry 4 when it first came out, maybe a year ago,
yeah,
right around
probably
this time
last
last year, it was struggling to play it on good quality. It was pretty glitchy, and that's when I bought on the PlayStation 4. So in order to play console games, you have to have some disposable.
Well, and a thing that comes into factor too is like it's a console is just plug and play essentially.
Yeah.
It's already loaded on there. You can't fuck with it too much. You can go into the settings and maybe change a couple things, but you can't go in and totally mess up the settings to the point where, or like, you can't download toolbars. I should say that. You can't just be, they're stupid proof, You can just plug in a game and play it. With a computer, if lots of games you might need to download Steam or Origin or something like that, and as soon as it brings you onto a website, well then, if you don't have protection or, a firewall or something like that, spyware, you might get a virus and then your computer's slow, and the average person doesn't know how to fix those problems or even prevent those problems, I would say. Like, I would say lots of people, they just get their antivirus and they just leave it at that, but like, they don't know how to maintain a computer over a period of time to keep it in tip-top shape and keep it clean and dusted like anything else. Who cares if your Xbox is
To bring it full
dusty?
circle, I would say I would compare console gaming to an iPhone and PC gaming to anything like Samsung. There's just so much more you can do.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to get used to. It's a little
Yeah.
intimidating at first, but once you figure it out, it's
It's the limits are gone when you have a computer.
especially with all the mods you can put on.
Oh yeah. Well, and like if my gaming setup is not this what you see before you, but I have two monitors, and it's like it'd be weird to have two TVs side by side if I wanted, just that in general. Like it just it's a lot better. I'm getting the Steam Link that comes out next week actually. I'm hopefully picking that up so I can link my computer to my TV and have it on the bigger picture, and it runs everything. It streams it off of my computer's hardware. So it's not a console where it's going to limit it to just whatever's in there. Everything, if I continue to upgrade my computer in the future, it will show those. Like the performance will come through.
Yeah.
I think it's limited to 60 FPS at 1080p, but at the same time, that's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good. I don't know. If I wanted to play certain games on my computer with my monitors, I can actually, it's about 144 frames per second, which is crazy, and I love it. But for certain games, you just don't need it. Certain games can't even get up to that. Like if I play WoW at 144 or over 120, it is glorious. But playing Counter Strike, there's no difference between 60 and 144.
Yeah,
I don't think you can. Like it's like that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and it's when you watch it, like watching a video on YouTube just recently allowed 60 frames per second to be a video option, and when you go from 30 to 60, the difference is night and day. How
For
smooth
sure.
it is, the transitions there's no choppy, it's nice and smooth, and that's what you get when you play PC gaming to console gaming.
Oh, for sure. Well, I had a good example here. So the computer I was just talking about, that is my most recent computer. That's my current computer that I use. This right here is my laptop that I had bought before that, which was my upgrade to my first desktop ever that was mine.
And it's
you know?
Alienware. It's a gaming computer.
Yeah, like I had a family desktop, I think, that I had, maybe tried to play WoW on back in vanilla days. And then eventually I was like, you know what? No, I need my own computer. I bought a desktop. Years go on, all right, now I need an actual gaming computer. I bought this Alienware, this is an M15X. They don't even make it anymore. They don't make the 15 inches.
No, they don't.
This was the last year it was released, actually, I believe. But I've upgraded a bit, like put an SSD in here and just a couple of little things, cleaned it out. But at this point, the battery got fried. I have a new battery, but it's just not worth it to fix back to where it was. It's never going to be where it was with computers. It's just cheaper to scrap it and buy a new one. So hopefully that's an upgrade I can be getting in the future. But getting this from my old desktop, I went from maybe like 15, 20 FPS playing WoW, and to dropping down to like 5 occasionally, in a raid or a city, to getting this where it was like, whoa, like 30 FPS is so crisp.
I know. It's
and then I figured out how to turn off my stealth mode, which took me like 2 months. It like limits your computer power. So like if you're just studying, you don't need to use all the graphics and all that stuff. So I eventually figured out how to turn that off, and it took my cap from 30 to 60. So now I was hitting WoW at 60, and it was a whole new game for me.
From 15 to up to 60.
Oh yeah, it was mind blowing. And then I get my current PC, and it goes from 60 to 130, and once again, it's like, love it.
If you get the money to spend and you're a hardcore gamer, it's the way to game. It really is. Once you get used to the mouse and keyboard, it's just, the only problem is, pardon me, it's not, I don't think yet it's popular with, because you can't afford it. High school kids can't afford a $1,000 computer. It's just, unless you have like a parent who can buy it for you, it's not realistic. But a console for sure is an easier way to game for people, and it's convenient because there's no upgrades, it's just straightforward. Like you said, it's a plug and play system. It's really simple. It's really easy to.
Well, most families already have a TV that you can plug into, and it's a good introduction. So you can easily monitor what your kids are playing. You can see it in the family room. You can limit the time they're spending on it, things like that. Whereas as soon as you give them a laptop or a tablet and they can go into their bedroom and go on the internet, the world that they're going to unlock is, you can't monitor that, you can't stop that. They're going to find out anything and everything. I'm not even talking about one specific thing. That's just the amount of stuff out there. Like with this phone that I can fit in my pocket, I can access almost any information I want, just Google it, like you can find out somehow.
Yeah.
And it's like, little kids' imagination is kind of scary.
Yeah, the internet's going from people like when we were kids, like, not to sound fucking, but when we were little, like nobody had iPhone. Like we didn't have iPhones really until we were middle of high school, right? So kids nowadays are definitely exposed to more than we were when we were at that.
I'll drive by the elementary school and I'll see like, I know that elementary school goes to grade.
The elementary school.
Okay, I used to live by elementary school, and I know for a fact it went up to grade 5. Then they had to go to middle school.
You knew exactly how old those kids were.
Oh, I did. Because I was one once. But it goes up to grade 5. So I don't know, how old's a person in grade 5 child? Like 7, something like that? With an iPhone?
No, grade 5? 10?
What?
No?
I don't know.
Because you're 6 when you go into grade 1.
I can't do math right now.
Yeah, so you're like 11 probably?
Anyways, little kids with iPhones that are like $800. What's up with that?
Yeah. But it's just, they're exposed to way more than we were, so.
It's scary.
It is. It's I'm curious to see where shit will be in the next 30 years.
Well, like even talking about my old YouTube earlier, like, that was 6, 7 years ago, maybe 8 now, that kind of stuff was recorded, but like, that's a long time ago. That's like a third of my life. And
in terms of technology, that's light years away.
Oh yeah, and that's like, that was kind of the beginning of all this internet kind of starting to have Facebook and stuff like that. But it's like, I was that age when that stuff was introduced into my life. It's not already there, and it's just a matter of time until I'm exposed to it. It was never existed before. You couldn't do that. And it's like all the stuff that kids now grow up with, they have Twitter. Like, you know, I know people, like, I'll see people on Instagram that have an Instagram specifically for, like, that's their child's Instagram. And it's like, you're uploading pictures and stuff for them, but then it's like, okay, well, then eventually they're going to want to take control over it. And then it's like, okay, well, now, like, a 6-year-old has a Twitter account and an Instagram and, like, stuff like that. And then it's like, you know, they post whatever, but then by the time they're 10 or 13 and look at 10-year-old self-posting stuff, they're going to cringe at it. By the time they're 15 and, you know, our age looking at that stuff, they're going to be like, what? Why did you let me have these things? Yeah. Like, what the hell?
I look back at social media all the time and think that. Like, when I look back at my old...
If I look back at my tweet from last week, I'm like, oh, fuck me, why did I say that? Like,
It's true. Like, when I look back at some tweets from, like, 2011 on my other account, like, I used to, during Patriots games, just tweet to nobody.
Yeah.
I would just... And I'm like, why the hell would I do that? Now I've got an actual Twitter account with 5,000 followers that actually give a shit about what I'm saying. But back then, I'm like tweeting to like 50 people. Why the hell was I even bothering?
From personal experience, like, I know this guy has made like 1 billion Twitter accounts, but, you know, when you kind of started, it would be like, all right, Zach is tweeting about the Patriots again. All right, now I'm not even going to look at Twitter for the next 3 hours because it's all going to be him every single minute. And then it was like, okay, like, and then now it's at the point where before we recorded this show, one of my good friends stopped by and we're having a conversation about it. And he's like, you know what? I will wake up on a Sunday and check Twitter. And I'm like, shit, I'm missing the Patriots game. Zach's been tweeting for an hour and a half already.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just one of our good friends that, you know, follows him. And you know what, 5,000 other people that just, you know, they're interested in what you got to say.
It's
cool.
It's fun. Social media is definitely like an outlet. It's a way to express yourself.
It's a tool, and if you use it that way, it's helpful. But if you just post, you know, fucking Zach's taking a shit, Zach's having his morning coffee, Zach's driving to work, no one gives a shit.
Nobody cares about that stuff. But
you know, we all have daily routines and stuff, and, you know, unless you're like some celebrity, which, and then again, I don't know why people even care about them. It's like, okay, I don't care.
Social media is great for businesses. Like,
it's fantastic.
Even for setting this up, like, we had a subscriber before we started.
We had a question from a follower, before we even started. Yeah. You know, that's fantastic.
It's a great way because you can interact with people, you can talk with people who are not in the same business, but in the same like niche of entertainment. People who like the same stuff, so you can kind of get a little bit of a following before you start. I mean, it's nothing huge, but before if we had none of this, we'd be literally starting a podcast in hopes that people
would be sitting here talking to each other, just having a conversation with a camera on.
Yeah.
Just for no reason.
I mean, from when I streamed, like I was talking to one of the girls who used to watch me stream quite a bit, and she would like, and it's just like, I asked a few people, I said, hey, can you throw us in your recommended channels? Because in your YouTube channel, you can throw people in your recommended channels. So we're in at least one recommended channel group, and one person's channel with a couple hundred followers. So it helps. Like just little stuff like that social media is great for business. My mom got social media for her business. Like it's a good way for people to find out about things, to ask questions, to set up appointments, to do all kinds of stuff. It's for doing stuff like this, it helps.
It's awesome. Even Facebook is like, I know a lot of people are going to hate you because it's Facebook, but for creating events, I have not found something as simple for creating events and just selecting which friends or family you do or don't want to invite. They can say yes, no, maybe, you know, or what, you know, it's as simple as that. Like, even if you don't want Facebook, you should create Facebook for the tool of events and stuff like that. Because if you're that one friend that doesn't have Facebook and 9 of them are planning something and you're the 10th, and it's like, oh fuck, well how do we invite Zach? He doesn't have Facebook. Somebody text him and it's like, well, everyone's busy and you just don't find out. You know, it's like, you don't have to share everything. You don't have to tell the world that you're having your morning coffee. Literally, just wake up and don't post anything. You know, it's like having a conversation with somebody.
And really, the only account that I post to now is my Patriots one because it's the only one with relevancy to it. Like if I don't really, and I have a following, so it's like I'm actually getting responses. I'm actually getting like interactions with people. So that's the fun part.
Yeah, it's being used how it's supposed to be. You're not just endlessly saying things into an abyss of the internet.
So I had a random, to switch gears here, I had a random
Switching
thought
gears.
while I was in work, and
We're
You
getting to
know-
the 50-minute mark here.
yeah, we'll wrap it up relatively shortly.
We're
but-
trying to keep it at an hour for the first one. You know,
Yeah,
see.
we don't know how long we want this to be, but I figured
Be
a lot of
engaging.
podcasts I watch, they're right around the hour, 2 hour mark. So we'll wrap this up relatively shortly, but I wanted to get to one more point because I thought it was kind of something that people take for granted. And honestly, I've never even thought of it before I was thinking about this. And I was driving home 2 days ago maybe, and I had I noticed in my rear view mirror I had something in my teeth, so I used that to clean my teeth out, right? And then, like, you know, you just kind of think and your thoughts trickle.
Mindless driving. Yeah.
I thought I was like, yeah, that helped. Like, I did a thing there. Like, I accomplished something by looking at myself in the mirror. Go back 700 years ago. Do people even know what they look like?
Yes. Reflections on water.
But that's it. If you're living,
But at the same time, do you really know what you look like?
I have an
Even
idea.
though you have a mirror,
I have
you only know what you look like through your own eyes. Where it can look totally different. Do I actually have a beard? I can feel it.
Okay, let's not get fucking stupid here. You know exactly what you look like. You have mirrors, you have GoPros, you have
Yes.
cameras.
I
Go
can
go
see
back
my
before
phantom.
glass was invented, because you can see, you know, I don't
Yeah.
know how old that. People who are inland, not.
Neanderthals.
Do you know what you look like? You don't know what they look like. People.
Like, honestly, I think, yeah, if they came, because you have to have water. You can't, water's,
But you would need a
It's
perfect
survival.
still body of water. Do people like?
lakes have, what are they called? Stagnant lakes. They exist.
So do you think like?
But still, yes, it's even in that, it's like, it's very hard to get an accurate, because that's only, you know, maybe a couple angles. Like, even my iPad here, the screen's not on right now. If I can kind of see a couple different angles of myself, but I can move it up here and see that angle. But I mean, if I'm just looking down at a puddle,
It's a little
you just
difficult.
see
Like
my face.
people wouldn't know whether like they're butt ugly or they're good looking. Like, it's just a weird concept.
That is
to think
very
about.
true, because I can look at my arms and my
Mhm.
legs and my stomach and everything like that, but I can't look at my face.
You-
I have no idea the bone structure of my face unless I saw a reflection of
Right.
me. You know, like
Do you think people were curious? Like, there's got to be some people throughout their lives 1,000 years ago had no idea what they look like. There's got to be.
it'd be like being blind your whole life in current day, and then having like a girlfriend describe what you
Mhm.
look like. You know, it'd be like, oh, I have black hair? Cool.
Yeah,
It's like-
it's so weird to think like people don't even, it doesn't even cross their mind. But I bet you 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, did Jesus know what he looked like? Was there glass
Why did you
invented?
shave?
Was it because he didn't have a fucking razor probably? But it just think about it.
Yeah.
So there's got to be
Huh.
some people in history who had no idea what they looked like.
Most definitely.
Because 100% there wasn't glass always around, 100% there wasn't mirrors always around. Bodies of water would be the only way to look at yourself.
Yeah.
You like now you go for a walk and there's a mirror that you walk by, you look at yourself.
You walk by a car and you can see
Mhm.
your reflection and fix your hair, you know?
But throughout history though,
your phone.
yeah,
You see yourself every day.
there's 100% been people who don't know what they look like, or don't have a good idea of what they look. It's just a weird concept. I just
You know,
Just
I've
think
seen
about that.
videos of like elephants and monkeys and stuff where they hold up a mirror, or like, not
Yeah.
hold up a mirror, but they put it up and then they, lots of animals think it's another animal,
yeah.
and then they get confused when they, let's say they go around it to go charge it or something like
There's
that,
nothing.
and there's nothing, and they get confused. But then, I forget which animal, it's been a long time since I've seen this study, but it was, some of them can actually, they start to recognize themselves, and they know, like, I believe monkeys actually, they have self-recognition and stuff like that.
Develop a
And, but it's like, I'm fairly sure as well that there's islands that have still, been undisturbed and stuff like that by technology, like they haven't advanced and stuff like that, and it's like they,
like with people living on it.
yes, and it's like if you went there with
Mirror.
a mirror or my iPhone and was like,
Their lives
just-
would be blown up.
they like, what would happen, you know?
It would be, it was just a weird thought that came to me. Like, there's got to be
Killer
throughout
thoughts.
history people who definitely didn't know what they look like. And you would take it for granted now because every time you go, when you wake up, when you go to work, you look at yourself in the mirror, you see how.
And that's a problem nowadays. People give a shit about what they look like too much to the point where they won't even leave bed because they're so depressed about it. And it's like, what, like, you know, why that doesn't really matter. It's about, you know, who you are and your actions and stuff like that make you you. It's like, yeah, everybody looks a certain way, but everybody looks different. No people look alike unless you're identical twins or your doppelganger, which you know happens. But like,
it's just weird. It was just a weird thought.
You know, think about it this way: if you wouldn't be born if you were really that ugly. Like, I mean, if you were that ugly, nobody would want to have sex with you, and you wouldn't have been able to make a baby.
But back in the day,
you would probably die and not continue the bloodline.
But I mean, back in the day, people. I wonder if did humans mate for creation, just like animals do back in the day? They had to, right? Like at one point,
it'd be weird just to know the origins of that. If it was just strictly for procreation, or if like they knew about the whole this feels.
Because I mean, like Neanderthals, they would have just. I would assume anyway that they would have just mated for.
Do monkeys have sex for pleasure?
I don't think so. Dolphins I know dolphins do. I do know that dolphins do.
Yes.
But it's just weird, like.
Yeah.
Now.
It's like, where did that start?
Like, there's no more survival in the human world anyway. There's no more survival of the fittest.
No.
If it was survival, think about this for a second. And I mentioned this to Adam at one point. I said, if there was no medicine, if there was no nothing like that, there would be no more peanut allergies. There would be no more, because everyone allergic to peanuts, just like natural selection 10,000 years ago, it weans out the weak. There would be no humans on the face of the earth with a peanut allergy in 2,000 years because everyone would have died from reaction.
Well, it's like
medicine is
how they breed dogs and stuff like that. Like, you know, like lots of dog breeds are combinations of stuff like that. Or it's like you take, racing dogs and stuff like that, like purebred animals and stuff like that are like, in order to have a purebred, that doesn't just mean, oh yeah, you take two pit bulls and then they mate and now you have a purebred because you had two pit bulls. No, like you need to have like a pit bull that's been bred by another pit bull that's been certified that's pure blood. Like you go down the line and it needs like 4 or 5 generations on both sides for that one puppy or litter of puppies to be considered purebred. The rest of them are other mutts, you know. It's like it's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, I would say medicine nowadays is stopping people from evolving because there's no more like evolving from different weaknesses. Like,
well, it's catching up to us too. Like it builds up an immunity to our antibiotics, and then it gets stronger. So our antibiotics need to get stronger, and it doesn't work. Like,
it's just a weird thought.
It works. Modern medicine does work.
Because it's no longer survival of the fittest. It's let's keep everybody alive. Because it's just the human nature, like to have compassion for somebody dying. It's the need to fix something. But if we didn't have medicine, if we didn't have that technology, humans would probably advance to something ridiculous. Because we're already
batteries right now limit us so much to our technology. Like just on kind of a different topic, but like in that realm, it's like if we had better batteries, like how long we have these shitty phone batteries and I use it for 4 months and then it dies constantly, and it's like if we had bigger, better, more efficient batteries with this whole like electric cars and stuff like that, that's starting to happen. I believe Vancouver's actually starting a thing where they're starting to phase out, like they're putting in a lot more electric charging stations and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They want to phase out gas emissions by a certain period of time. Oh. Like they're adding a lot more electric car and like programs that benefit you if you use electric vehicles.
And humans too, with all the shit that we've created, you're just ruining our own environment.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely, destroying it with all.
We need to learn how to sustain it, and we're already at the point where we've done so much that it's irreversible. But
absolutely,
we need to be able to.
And I think the biggest reason why nothing changes is because nothing catastrophic is going to happen to our actions in our lifetime.
Well,
and so people think like that.
Exactly. Why should I do anything?
And I'm 100% victim. I'm 100% guilty of it.
Totally
everybody else.
I'm like, you know what? It's not. Why should I matter or why should I care about this? Because I'm gonna be dead by the time it affects me. Yeah. But that's the wrong way to think about it. And that's a selfish way to think about it, because it's like, okay, well, I might not live through that, but my son might, and his kids might.
Yeah.
And, I want that. It's not just about me. Once I'm dead, all I have is the impact that I've made here. And, you know, once I'm gone, that's literally all there is left. And it's like, I want that to be something that I can have to pass
The
on.
only real impact that matters is, well, I mean, like, think of pro athletes, like right now their legacy is pro athletes, but once people die 200 years from now, they're not going to mean shit. Because the only thing that actually, the only lasting impression that generation, those people made, is the one on the environment, and the one that's ruining, or the one that's changing the environment that we live in. So down the road, nobody's going to care how many goals you scored that year. It's just going to be like, it's the
world's over.
It's just, my dad was telling me that when he was a kid, the sun wasn't as powerful. Like you wouldn't need sunscreen, but now, even 50 years ago, the sun was nowhere near as powerful. But now with all the emissions, everything ruining the ozone layer, the sun's getting more and more powerful because there's less protection. So it's just, and then, I mean, that's within 50 years. That's noticeable in his lifetime.
Yeah.
So, you know, imagine 200 years from now when our kids' are living, what the world's going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be insane. It's going to be, I would imagine I'd be curious to see where it is, because I imagine it's going to be way different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it, we're sitting right now, you know, on our laptops, tablets, with a camera that's the size of my fist, you know, recording this, and it's hopefully going to turn out, you know, decent quality. As far as pixels and stuff, it'll be 1080p, I believe, right? And then it's like seven. Okay, you know, either way, it's still pretty great for what we can just do in this room with, you know, a few $100 and a couple hours of our time. And it's like, you know, if I wanted to do this 10 years ago, I would need a whole studio and, you know, a crew of people and stuff like that. You know, like it just doesn't work.
That's
like the amount, like our phones, for example. Like I used to have an iPod literally bigger than this to hold like a 1,000 songs just for my music. And then it was like iPod Touch comes out. I can have videos and pictures and music.
And then the iPhone comes out, and it's literally everything with
that's
a phone.
crazy. Like I remember having like dial-up internet, and it's like I've got 100 download right now, and I pay $100 a month for it. Like that's insane compared to what it was 10 years ago. Like I'm really curious to see.
It's the fun thing about technology. It allows people, and I mean, in the next 50 years, you're going to see a lot more people working.
Nothing is impossible.
Just
do it.
Just do it. It's true though. I mean, like,
if you can think about it, and especially 3D printers and stuff like that, if you can think it, you can think of a way to make it happen. And that's what it's all about. You know, that's how to make it.
It's nice to have
this technology. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's, you know, it's entrepreneurs and stuff like that, and self-made businesses.
Technology is really open door for entrepreneurs, because it's without it, it's damn near impossible, unless you're doing some sort of trade.
Yeah.
There's no, you watch, in 20, 30 years, there's going to be a lot more marketing jobs. There's going to be a lot more people who are going to have a lot more jobs with social media. Like, people have to run the Vancouver Canucks social media account. People run.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot more jobs.
You need to filter out spam and stuff like that. Reply to people. Like, some celebrities run their own Instagram and stuff like that. But a lot of them have a PR person, because they know that they're gonna say something fucking stupid, and then everybody's gonna be all over them for what they said in private at 3 a.m. while they're wasted. And it's like, oh my god, now you lost your job, and it's like, dude, like really?
If you look at Eminem's Twitter account, it's just links to his music. It's just corporate stuff. There's hardly any personal stuff that he does. It's just and I guarantee you, it's not him running it. It's just somebody else running his Twitter account, just solely for the purpose of growing his business. That's you know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's a lot of that. But
it's good.
Anyway, I think we should probably wrap it up.
Hour five.
If you enjoyed, hopefully, we're gonna try to record every Thursday. We've set that's our record day. Not sure. I think today we should be able to render it, because it's just one. We're hoping to have more than one camera angle. We've got 3 GoPros, so
we're still early in the. We're trying new things. Hopefully, you can stick with us the next couple weeks while we get something solid down, and maybe get some feedback to change it up.
I think this one though is just going to be the raw footage, like the camera angle. It's not going to be hard at all to put it together. So it might even be on YouTube tonight. Hopefully it gets rendered tonight. But if you liked it, maybe subscribe. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram. Say hello. Ask a couple questions, because at this point we don't have enough people where we can't get to all your questions, ask us questions, and we'll write it down in the Google Drive, and we'll have them readily.
Feel free to make fun of my massive sideburns in that video if you find it.
Yes, look at the video. We gotta have to remember to link those. Our Twitter is gonna be in the description. His old YouTube account is gonna be in the description.
Yeah.
Go check out the videos because some of them are pretty funny. Some of them bring us
Some
back.
of them, yeah. We'll see.
But anyways, thanks for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you guys will stick
been
around
real.
with us. It's been fun.
Seacrest out.
Seacrest out. Not Seacrest. But, that was the first episode of Zac and Mac Podcast.
Zac and Mac. Yeah.
Thank you very
There we
much. We'll see you later.
go. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
That was good. I like that.
That was.
Awesome.
That was pretty good. And you know, it's weird, because, like, at first, when I thought about it, I was like, we're literally just sitting here having a conversation with each other, and there's a camera there. But then it was like,